Alright, on the last episode of the worst swamp cooler I ever found online, we unpacked our swamp cooler and checked out the damage on the outside. Today we're going to crack open the swamp cooler, check out the internals, and see what we're dealing with. So the first thing you have to do is take off the end cap. That's real simple. It's just these two screws on the end, on the extremities of the end cap. The next thing you have to do is take off the 3 screws that are actually hidden inside the sealant of these 3 spots on the back cap. And with that off, you can actually go ahead and take a razor blade and run a razor blade around a couple of times, and what we're doing is breaking the seal between the inner end cap, which is actually the water barrier, and the end cap. So with the seal broken with a razor blade and these 3 screws out, you can just pry it out real carefully with a flathead or like a putty knife or something, and it should slide right out. I think it's important to point out here how the recoil works. This spring is actually inserted through a hole drilled in the center shaft. The other end of the spring is actually hooked through a hole in the back side of the swamp cooler basket. And then this whole basket actually rotates on this rod. Damage our basket. And there's the empty can. Now, one misconception I've heard about these swamp coolers is that they're insulated. But as you can see, there's no insulation on these swamp coolers. There's so much air passing through these that the sun isn't really going to heat up this cooler. Air is just passing through this so much, the heat on this cooler is not really affecting the temperature of the air ripping through this at 40 miles an hour. I've actually had customers return swamp cooler kits because they said the swamp cooler kit wasn't insulated. And I had to be like, no swamp cooler is insulated. And that's exactly why. Some people just don't understand how these work. If you're curious on how these work, make sure you check out my video on how swamp coolers actually work. They're an evaporative cooler, so they don't function through Freon. They just simply work through pulling the moisture out of the material here. This is actually a wood fiber in here, and as the air is evaporated out of there, it drops the temperature in the air. And this is exactly why you want to pop your swamp cooler open every year and inspect it and possibly replace this. So there it is. This is all of the components for a Thermador swamp cooler. If you're missing any of these components, you need replacement parts. You want to buy a swamp cooler, a reproduction swamp cooler, get your swamp cooler restored, make sure you check out our website, vintageswampcoolers.com. Links are below in the description. If you like this video, make sure to check out my other videos on swamp coolers in this playlist. Some of my other swamp coolers I've built here out of scratch. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys next time.